Welcome to the huddle. I'm your host, Mike Lay. What's going on, Travis Garrison?
What's going on, man? How you doing,
I'm
man?
pretty good, pretty good. I appreciate you coming on.
Man, thanks for the opportunity.
All right. So the question that everybody will have is, why now? Why come tell the story of Travis Garrison?
Pretty much, I've been retired out of the game for about 2 years now. My whole thing is I was just trying to find what my purpose was in life, Obviously, it wasn't basketball, That's a chapter in my life, but now I'm just moving forward. My whole thing is how can I help other people? That's what I love to do. I'm more passionate about that. How can I use my experiences to help the younger generation, the young guys that's coming up behind me? So it's like it's no better time. I've been through my playing career now and had a number of ups and downs. So just trying to use these experiences to help the younger generation and other people out there as well.
Okay, so let's dive into who Mr. Garrison really is. So where are you originally from? Where did you grow up? Where you were raised?
I was raised in Suitland, Maryland.
Okay.
Raised in Suitland, Maryland. Lived with my mom and two older brothers. Had it was a pretty cool neighborhood when we moved into it, but as years went on, it got a little rougher.
Okay.
So it was a cool neighborhood, a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs there as well. So.
Okay, so usually in communities like this, you hear stories about, I want to stay busy, want to try to do something different. In your case, happened to be basketball. How did you get introduced to basketball?
I have two older brothers, like I said. They both was heavy in sports. My oldest brother, Lawrence, he 9 years older than I am, and my other brother is 6 years older than I am. So it was a big gap there. So I knew they played basketball, but I wasn't really into it myself. Then one day, my mom came up to me around when I was 8 years old and asked if I wanted to play. I was kind of like, whatever, you know what I mean? I wasn't really pressed, but I was like, all right, my oldest brother's playing. You know how like the younger brother want to be like the older brother, so I joined this District Heights Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
Wasn't good at all. I was terrible, but I had the height, I was a little tall for my age, and it was a cool experience. I just always see my oldest brother watching Michael Jordan tapes before his games. So I just remember one time, I wanted to do the same thing and watch, come fly with me before one of my games, and so I had a little motivation of what Jordan was doing. So I remember one game in particular. I remember I got in the game. I was dribbling up and down the court. I got to the free throw line. I thought it was MJ for a second.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I jumped, man, and tried to dunk from the free throw line like Jordan, man. Threw that joint off the backboard and got subbed out the next play.
I was about to say, how long did it take?
Yeah, I got subbed out the next play. But that was, like I said, it was more so I had that height at that age, and people, when coaches see that height, oh man, we gotta get him on the team. But like I said, I had no experience. I wasn't good at all.
So when you jumped from the free throw line, did you make it past the dotted circle?
Man, not even close. Not even close, man. It was crazy, but that's one of my experiences. Like I was just out there,
Okay. All right, so you're playing basketball now. You're starting to get into it. You got a ritual watching your movie before the game. What did you begin to love about the game, and then who did you look up to during that? When you start finding your passion.
Well, I probably fell in love with the game probably like around 10 or 11.
Okay.
I'm talking to a point where first thing I wake up in the morning during the summer times, I wash my face, eat a bowl of cereal, I'm running up to the court. That's like 8 in the morning. That's when the sun beam, I'm out that joint just shooting around, kind of doing a little different drills that my uncle, who was having basketball, he lived in Kansas City at the time, Missouri State, all-time leading scorer, had an opportunity with the 76ers but got hurt in a charity game.
Okay.
So, working with him some, but I used to wake up early in the mornings and run up to the court around 8 o'clock, play, do little drills, come back, chill for a second, eat something, go get my friends. We go up to the court again, early afternoon, play with them, then to come back, chill for a second, and go up there when the older guys are up there. So just seeing the older guys in my neighborhood, it was very competitive. We had different areas, had a apartment complex, like two different apartment complexes up the street from my house. So I go play against those neighborhoods. I go play against the older guys in the other neighborhoods. So it was very competitive. You know what I mean? They ain't, they one of them types like, I don't care how old you are, how small you are, I ain't gonna take it easy on you. So it was that thing. And then my friends I grew up with, they was a little older than I was. And I played against them, and it was just competitive. We was all competitive, in every sport we played, whether it's basketball, we played football in the middle of the streets. like everything. It was very competitive. So that's kind of how I started to develop my game some. But I used to, like I said, I couldn't stay away from the court. I always had that itch, that burning, that passion. Just always wanted to keep a ball in my hand. You know, I used to see my oldest brother dribble him down the court with his off hands, jumping rope in the middle of the street. You know those shoes where they had for your calves to get you. He used to walk around in those all day. He'd do calf raises on the steps. So I started to get that same dedication that he had. I always wanted to be at the court and just play. I just always wanted to play the game, whether it was raining, it was snowing. I used to take my shovel down to the court, dig a little hole just to get some shots up, and then I'd go back home. I just always had that burning passion to want to play, and that's when I knew I loved the game.
All right. So sounds like a lot of good times. What are some of the memories you hold on to, from your childhood?
Uh, some of the fondest memories is, like I said, just playing outside with my friends. That's how I grew up. I wasn't one of those kids that stayed inside. Most of my life, I was outside in the streets, whether it was playing football in the street, at the court. We always find something to wrestling. We was real big WWF fans. I'm talking about to a point. I'm talking about like we used to like really think we were these characters. To make the outfits, the little title, the championship belts and everything. So, I mean, it wasn't always just basketball. It was all type of activities, just going over with my friends in my neighborhood and just having good experiences.
All right, Travis. So moving on. Later on, you go to high school and you choose DeMatha. Why DeMatha?
It's funny. I didn't even choose DeMatha myself. My mom chose DeMatha. I really wanted to go to Suitland High School. That was my neighborhood school. All my friends were going there, and the neighborhood was getting kind of rough at the time. My mom kind of wanted me out of the neighborhood, so I actually was looking at a school in Pennsylvania called Mercersburg. Okay. I was gonna go to Mercersburg. I went down there and went to a visit. There's probably like 80 some students total there. It was away from home, so I felt like I was an adult. I would get away from home, so I liked that. The coach really liked me, and what happened was I took I guess the assessment test to get in and see where I was at. I couldn't even, I didn't do good at all to a point they was like they weren't going to allow me to go there because of how bad I did. Because when I was in middle school, I was joking around all the time. I was playing around and take school seriously, so I didn't really know anything. So. So what happened was one day I was in the gym and my guidance counselor came up to me and he was like, have you ever heard of DeMatha Catholic High School? I was like, nah, I never heard of that. And he was like, yeah, it's an all-boys school. It's a Catholic school. I'm like this. Oh, I said, oh, yes. So I don't know about that one. You know what I mean? He says it's a Catholic school. I said, man, I'm not even Catholic. You know what I mean? So I was like, but he's like, man, just go check it out. This and the third. So what happened was I went to go meet with Coach Wooten, my mom. And after that meeting, my mom just loved everything he had to say. I saw the trophies, all the people that went there. So he showed us the statistics of like college graduates and pros and things like that. So she just liked everything that they were talking about, more so the educational part. Right. And she was like, "This is where you're going." I went up to do the shadow. Man, it was just all guys in there, man. I just couldn't really get that through my head. I'm like, man, I ain't used to this. Everybody in uniform. Seeing all these tall dudes walking around, I thought I was somebody, what I mean? I've been 6'7", 6'8", that was nothing compared to DeMatha at the time. So that's how it kind of happened. I didn't know anything about Coach Wooten. My oldest brother played at Bishop McNamara, but like I said, he's 9 years older than I am. When I used to go to the games, I wasn't even watching the game. I used to be in the hallways playing with my friend. So that's how I kind of found out about DeMatha, I should say, is through that experience.
Okay, so you mentioned Coach Wooten, legendary coach in his own right. What made him legendary to you, though?
What made Coach Wooten legendary to me was it wasn't just all about basketball. Everything that he did was more so about teaching about life, how you conduct yourself as a person, how to get a job, all type of things. So just like he was just preparing you for life, not just the game, but he was preparing you for the game of life. At the beginning of practice, he used to always give us quotes. And then at the end of practice, he asked the individual to repeat the quote and what it meant to them. Okay. So everything he was doing, like I said, was more of teaching of life. I tell people all the time, yeah, he's a great coach, but man, as far as a person, man, just a great kinded guy, good heart, just like, man, it's like probably one of the best people I ever met in my life.
Okay, so, great coach. You starting to develop as a player. What do you think made you more successful at DeMatha, and what was the reason behind it?
Um, I came in, I was like coming in as a top ranked player in the country, like top 15 player ranked in the country. But everybody at the Met at the time playing basketball, especially on varsity, they was all top ranked. So I was like, oh man, I'm the number two eighth grader coming in. But you got Keith Owens there, you got Joe Forte, they like top 5 in the country. You got Jordan Collins, who's a year above me. He's top 10 in the country. You got all these different guys, so it meant nothing to them. So that the way they competed, especially in open gym, that's where I really first got my lessons. I remember Jordan Collins scored the game-winning bucket on me. He's 6'10", big body. Scored the game-winning bucket. I'm walking out about to get some water. Joe Forte is walking in front of me, and Joe turned around and he just kind of like give me this look and like, man, you basically like you some trash. And I ain't gonna lie, that kind of it hurt me because that's Joe Forte. I looked up to the dude, but that's just how it was. Everything was very competitive. It's one of those situations where either you step up and you get on board as far as the competitive nature of it, or you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. So I had a determination to just be good, be the best I could be. Jason Forte, Joe's little brother, one time told me like the way Joe mentality was, the reason he stayed a highly ranked player was he always had that mentality like somebody was trying to get his spot. So he always worked like you're not gonna outwork me. So I kind of just take that mentality in as well. And my oldest brother used to always tell me too, like when you're not working, somebody else is. So that used to scare me. So like even when I'd be home watching TV doing commercials, I'm doing push-ups, sit-ups on the stairs doing calf raises. So I always wanted to basically stay ahead of the game. I never want nobody to take my spot. And not just that, when I got on the court, I always wanted to prove that I was as good as I was ranked or whatever. So that was kind of the thing that kind of helped me be successful at DeMatha was, okay, if I'm this top ranked player in practice, even in practice, whatever drill we're doing, I gotta be the best at because that's what be the man. So I have to outcompete everybody. Whether we running 20 and 2s, I gotta win that. Whether we doing shooting drills, I gotta win that. I just never wanted to lose. So I just had that thing, man. I just ain't like losing. I ain't want to be out compete. I ain't want nobody to outcompete me, and things like that. So.
Okay, so you received the tough love, sparks of fire, you get some determination there. So then you become ranked in high school. How did you find out that you were even ranked?
How I first found out I was ranked was my AAU coach came up to me when I was eighth grade actually, and he came up to me and said, "Hey man, you're in this book." I'm like, "For real?" I forgot it was like it was some news. I forgot the name of this book. But he's like, "Yeah, in this book." I'm like, "For real?" He showed me the book, and I was like the number 2 eighth grade in the country. I was like, "For real?" I was like, I didn't even know that. I didn't know nothing about rankings. I didn't really care. It was more so like just the love of the game, just wanted to play. But so that's how I really first found out that I was ranked, and that's when it kind of like took on a whole another thing. Like I guess rankings is a big deal to people. So that's when I first really found out that I was ranked. But then after that, then you have all these different articles and books that come out every year during the summer about the ranked players. And like I said, DeMatha on the team at the time, he had all these other guys that were ranked. So they was in tune with who was ranked before them, ahead of them. And so I used to always like keep up as well. And like I said, it's interesting because I didn't really know anything about basketball at all as far as the college, anything NBA, because I was outside most of the time when I was a kid. Everything I did was outside, so I never really watched like college basketball. I had no clue really about the history of college basketball. NBA, of course, when that comes on, my friends watched it, so I watched it, and then you got Michael Jordan. Everybody watched him. Right. But as far as college basketball, the history of it, I didn't have a clue about that until I got to the Mather. And then all these college coaches coming in. I'm like, who's that? Oh, that's the coach from North Carolina. Oh, for real? Oh, so I'm just learning about because they coming in and watch Open Gym and all the other players. That's all they talking about is college basketball, who's playing and things like that. So
Okay. So we're gonna fast forward to 2002. You become a McDonald's All-American. Walk us through that experience. How did things go?
It was a great experience for me because that's like one of the highest accolades that you can receive as far as high school basketball. I was really excited about it. It's interesting because you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, he ain't deserve that, this, that, and the third," and I mean, yeah, you're gonna hear that regardless. But for me, I thought I did because of the hard work I put in. Every time I went somewhere, whether it's out the state, you play against top-rated teams, I always put in work. I made sure that. The thing was, I never had a chance to go to any of these summer camps during the summer, Nike camp, Adidas camp, because I was in summer school every summer. So I get invited to USA basketball tryouts, things. I could never attend anything because of my grades. So people heard about me, but they never really get a chance to see me. Okay. Yeah, I played AAU during tournaments. I did tournaments in the summertime, a couple, but I didn't go to these big camps where all the other ranked players were. So going into my senior year, I had a chance to go to Adidas, and I said, all right, when I go up here, I mean, I was already getting highly recruited, still ranked one of the top ranked players in the country, but I wanted to prove to everybody like this is why I'm this good. I'm going against all these other good players. So I went up there with the mindset I'm going to try to destroy everybody. I ended up playing very well and been named to the All-Star team.
Okay.
But because I already missed a couple of days in summer school, because I was in summer school again, I couldn't play in the All-Star game. I had to go back home. So I missed out on that opportunity, but I proved my point. Right. You know, I proved my point, and I thought I did enough during that summer, whether it's in the Charlie Weber, all the tournaments I played in, I did very well, and I thought I proved to people like this is why I deserve to be a McDonald's All-American. So, you know, like I said, that's one of the highest honors and accolades you can get. People can say whatever, he deserved this and the third, it's already done. You know, that cannot be taken away from me. So, I mean, I definitely appreciated that, and I'll always be grateful for that opportunity.